Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. Today we're doing a Let's Play, and you can consider this a full live review for Discovering San Giusto, Chapter 1, The Unveiling VR, a game that was released, or an app that was released on the Steam store yesterday, May 18th, 2023. It normally retails for $24.99. It's on a release sale 20% off. I received a free Steam key through the Steam Creator Connect program, and I'm testing it out on the MetaQuest 2 using link cable. Now, the only options are languages here, so it only has French, German, Italian, English, and Spanish. So those are the only options. There's no graphical options, which is not great. There's no locomotion options, which is not great. There's no sound options, which is not great. Basically, you have two options. You can choose free roaming or tour. Now, the tour took me about 20 minutes. And you can choose manual or automatic. I chose automatic. I think that just means it automatically takes you from the end of the tour to the next scene. Versus manual, you can just take your time. Let's do free roaming. Let's go ahead and start. And as implied, we can freely teleport. Now, this only supports teleportation. There is no full locomotion or smooth locomotion. And there is no turning other than the turning within the teleport. So, obviously, you can choose the direction that you're teleporting to. But it's not always the best. It doesn't always do a great job of facing you in the direction that you want to face. And obviously there's some barriers here. I am playing seated. It's probably better to play it standing just so you can turn around more easily. But there are some invisible barriers, which they're not always obvious. But here you go. This is the invisible barrier here. Okay. And once you get to these markers, you can see that you can point. It says point then click, which you'll teleport to that area. So as you can see, there's one, the garden, two, the tower, and three, the ancient propylium. Ancient propylium. And again, this is San Giusto, for those of you not familiar. Obviously, it's in Italy. It's an ancient Roman site that's been hidden within a church that was built on top of it, which was very common in the past for people to build churches above ancient structures, especially religious ones. Happened a lot in Latin America, but also happened in Europe. And you can see you can teleport within these grounds. The visuals, I would say, are pretty good, but you can tell there's a difference. So in the areas where you can teleport, you can see there's a different method being used. So this is like within a game engine, and I don't know if this is photogrammetry. It looks like it, but I've seen better photogrammetry. I've seen more real lifelike photogrammetry, but it's still pretty good. It definitely gives you the impression of being teleported away. But once you look at a distance, you can see the image looks 2D and blurred out. So as far as, the ground's further away, it definitely looks blurry. It doesn't look as good as the stuff in the foreground. And obviously the photogrammetry here, some of the textures here could have been done better. I've definitely seen better photogrammetry than this attempt. But overall, I would say it does look good, but you might have expectations because this is a $25 priced at $25. You might be expecting, the best of the best photogrammetry in VR, and I'm going to tell you right away that this is not it. But still, I think, in my opinion, looks pretty good. And it definitely is the second best way to experience San Giusto other than going there yourself, as far as seeing the modern look. So right now we are looking at the modern look, but as you'll see, we'll certainly. And again, there's like a barrier here, but somehow we're able to teleport across. I don't know if that's intentional, but you can see up close. It definitely looks better at a certain distance. The you know just the way the photogrammetry is done here, it doesn't look the best up close. You can see some of the low resolution textures. The good news, though, is that it is running at 90 frames per second. So as far as performance, there's no issues with performance. But as you can see, there's lots of invisible barriers. It's unclear which areas you can go to, which areas you can't. I think this might be a bug. I'm not sure you're supposed to be able to go there, but we did. But it does. But it does look good. Seriously, as long as you don't have high expectations, if you're expecting the best photogrammetry, you're going to be disappointed because it's not. But as long as you don't have unrealistic expectations, because not every educational, historical app recreation is going to have the best photogrammetry that you've ever seen in VR. But still, it's a decent job. It's decent enough. It gets the job done. You do get the sense of being there. And like I said, this is second best to actually being there in person, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and let's click on the tower. Actually, you know what? No, we want to go to the ancient Propylaeum. So let's go there. As soon as we get to this marker, we'll be teleported there. And it's loading in. It'll just take a few seconds to get there. I am on an SSD drive, by the way, in case you're wondering. On my RTX 3080. And there are interactions available, as you can see here. Some of the physics is not the best, but and I think, and can we sheath it? Yeah, we can also sheath our sword. And again, I am playing seated. Now, I don't think you can put the helmet on. It seems to always fall down. So, but there you go. You can play around with. There are some interactions, but they're very limited. They're very basic. So there's only a few interactions, to be honest. And obviously, the teleport here is not the best. I wish it did have full locomotion and smooth turning, but it doesn't have either of those. It doesn't even have snap turning. So you do have to turn within your teleport. Play a little bit here. Come on, let's duel. So you can't really throw the spears correctly. Or maybe my form is just terrible. Either or. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that you can throw it correctly. I've tried. But each time it seems to just... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. It is possible I am doing something wrong, but that's just usually how it's been going so far. But again, interactions are limited. Obviously, this is a recreation of what was there before it was basically destroyed and the church was built over it, with some parts of it still there if you look closely enough, if you know where to look. This doesn't look right to me. But again, I guess we're not supposed to really look, but if you look from this way, it just doesn't look right. I'm not sure it's supposed to look like that. But let's go, and you can also go down over here a little bit. But again, I really don't like this method of locomotion. I don't like this type of teleportation. But there is an invisible barrier eventually, and we're at that. So that's as far as you can explore. But yeah, it's a nice recreation. And let's go to the last area. Again, it's going to take a little while, but not too long. And we can go to the tower. And again, we're going to point to click. Point, then click. And go to the last interaction available, I believe, which is you grab a coin, toss a coin to your Witcher, toss a coin to your Roman Emperor, toss a coin to your Roman Senator. Okay. There are different areas to go to. You know, you can go here, and you can check out how this church is currently built, and how there's like secret little areas where you can see the ancient Roman structures within. It's kind of cool the way it's laid out, the way they preserve some of this, so you could see the ancient griffins. Obviously, wouldn't have been part of a church. And this is the new part that they just discovered, which you can see there's like the floor here, but under you can see the ancient Roman columns and some other ancient drawings. If you look close enough, you can actually see them. Now there's an ancient column right there. All right, so let's go back to the main menu. Yes. And I'm going to do the tour just for a little bit so you can get a taste of the tour. I have to admit, I kind of liked it.
Roman building imprisoned in a bell tower. You are here to find out how the Roman building, that miraculously remained inside the bell tower of San Giusto, was originally made, and the changes it has undergone over the course of 2,000 years.
Okay, so the main difference between the automatic and manual is with the automatic, you teleport automatically there, whereas the manual, you just have to slowly teleport to the
After
area.
A long climb,
so that's the difference. Not a big difference between the automatic and manual.
Cathedral. See you there to begin our visit.
I'm not a big fan of the robotic voice. We're gonna do this last part here before calling it a day.
You have reached the churchyard. You are right in front of the Cathedral of San Giusto. Is characterized by a simple
and it's San Giusto,
facade
not San
in regular
Giusto.
courses of sandstone in warm ochre colors, embellished in the center by a splendid Gothic rose window, made on site by Lombard workers, that floods the interior of the building with
So yeah,
light.
I'm not a big fan of
Before
the robotic
restoration
voice,
of the original medieval masonry
because not
in
only does the robotic
1928,
voice
the facade
mispronounce
that
several
contains
things,
5 naves was plastered and painted in light and dark bands. The
But it's-
jambs of the main portal are formed by an ancient Roman stele representing the Barbie family. The block has been sawn in half, and the 2 pieces have been used in an inverted way.
I'm not sure
so as to
Barbie is
leave
the
the
correct
smooth
pronunciation.
external
I
part
think it
in
might be
sight,
Barbie.
and the part not worked hidden. They are elements of the 14th century, and the bell tower that you can see on your left also dates back to the same period. It appears massive as a defense tower. In fact, born as a bell tower, it was actually used as a watchtower of the city, always exposed to possible attacks over the centuries. It has a long history, but now, it interests us because it hides archaeological treasures. The half of a Roman building that continued to where you are now. Looking at the ground, you can see the plan drawn in white stone. To see it, it is necessary to go underground. And then we sink.
Yeah. I'm going to end it here. Uh, like I said, this is an artistic, well, not artistic, educational,
You are
historical
about
app.
7 feet below the street level. In
And
reality,
it
to reach
seems
this
like I was
place,
forced
you
there
could have
even though
gone
I didn't
down into
want
the
to.
garden of the Winkleman Museum and gone
So
up the lapidary garden
I
to
think
the
it's
access
fine
of the
for what it
tunnel that
is,
allows you to pass under
an
the
educational
churchyard.
app, but keep in mind there's no gameplay here. Whether this is worth $24.99, that's a tough call. That is a heavy ask. That's a pretty you know that's a pretty high
Beyond the
price,
entrance
given
door,
that we're
there
used
is a
to
stretch of the original pavement of the Roman
educational
road from the
historical
1st
apps being
century
free on
AD that
Steam.
went up the hill.
Let me go ahead and quit this because this is yes. Okay. So whether it's worth $24.99 or the sale price of $19.99, I'm gonna leave that up to you guys because again, there is no gameplay here. This is a historical educational app, and how much value that has, that'll be up to the individual. Hopefully, though, I've done a good job of showcasing the app and what you can expect. Obviously, like I said, it's a 3D VR recreation of San Giusto, both the modern historical site and the ancient site that's been recreated based on the knowledge that we have about what it might have looked like, and based on the obviously the historical artifacts left behind, which we could have a good idea of what it might have looked like. And I think it is a pretty accurate representation of what was there in ancient times. But is that worth $24.99? That's a tough call. It is a pretty, it is high priced. There's no getting around that. I'm not sure if I would have bought this experience with my money. So I'm just going to leave it as a neutral recommendation. I'm going to let you guys decide. Hopefully, my little video has given you the information necessary for you to decide whether this is something you want to invest in. And that's basically what it is. You're investing in the educational, historical information that you glean from this experience. This is one of the best uses of VR, is to take these historical tours that would be otherwise impossible. These faraway locations that might maybe closed to the public, or you might have very limited tours to the public available. But through the magic of VR, we're able to freely explore, and also obviously go back in time and look at something that would be impossible, outside of VR. Anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. This has been my Let's Play initial impressions for Discovering San Giusto, Chapter 1, The Unveiling. And like I said, I'm giving this a neutral recommendation. It does have educational, historical merit, but the price may be a bit too high for most of us. Anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a wonderful day. Goodbye.